I'm here with Conan Gray, this month's Apple Music Up Next artist. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
You know, the first record I want to talk about is Wish You Were Sober. You're reflecting on a relationship that you're over. Was this off of experiences that you had some time ago, or is this more of a recent experience?
While I was making the album, there's this person that I really, really liked. And they just wouldn't be able to tell me that they liked me back unless they were drunk. And it's a bittersweet feeling because at one side you're like, yay, they like me. Like, that's great. And then the other side of you is like, why can't they tell me that when they're not plastered, you know? So I wanted to write a song that you want to scream in the car to about that situation.
For the entirety of this album, Kid Crow, what is the time span that these experiences you're touching on takes place?
Basically, a lot of the album talks about my past, which I've never really talked about too much. I feel like I hadn't really had time to say it. My EP was so much about my senior year of high school, which I loved. It's like a time capsule of my senior year. The whole album is my whole entire life, and then also everything that's happened since the EP, because the EP completely changed my life in a way that I could have never imagined. But a lot of the past 2 years, falling in love for the first time, and then getting my heart broken for the 17th time and stuff like that.
I want to talk about Idle Town. That song was originally called Stay Till Midnight.
Oh my God, how did you know that?
Hey,
what?
because we're out here, Conan.
Oh my God, whoa. Yeah.
It was originally called Stay Till Midnight. It was a love song about your high school crush. You said that they've broke your heart, and then you changed all the lyrics. Now it's about your friends. How do those moments feel when you look back on that part of your life?
It's just super surreal thinking about how much my life has changed, and in that moment when I was 17 writing that song, I was just so in love, so in love. And it's just funny because that song, was originally like you should stay till midnight, we should hang out forever. Then I ended up changing all the lyrics, and it was the song that got me signed and everything. So it's pretty just insane to see how full circle life is. And I keep saying life is just hilariously ironic all the time.
I want to talk a little bit about your inspirations. Who were some of the singers and songwriters that inspired you when you were younger?
I would say my top two artists of my whole entire life, even now, not just when I was younger, are probably Taylor Swift and Lorde. The first YouTube video I ever watched was a Taylor Swift music video for Teardrops on My Guitar, and it literally changed my life. I was like, who is this girl? I wish I was as cool as her. Also, I grew up in Texas, so to see a country girl, singing on her guitar, it was so special to me. And then once I discovered Lorde, I think that's kind of when my whole entire perspective of pop music kind of shifted, because she was writing pop music about life that I could relate to. It wasn't like partying and drugs and sex. It was some people can relate to, but definitely not me as a 12-year-old.
I want to talk about your song Maniac. You wrote this song in the shower. What was the first part of this record that came to you?
The first part was the chorus. It came really, really quickly after I'd gotten this crazy text from someone that I hadn't talked to in months. I barely knew this person, and they were like, "You're so manipulative," and all these things, calling me insane. I was like, I don't really know what's going on, and you're calling me crazy, but I want to get this clear. You are the crazy one in this situation. And I thought it was really funny, so I wrote a song about it.
Many of your songs on this album sound like it's either the first feelings that you have when you meet somebody, or it's the moment that you know that things are done and that it's over, right? It's this kind of polarizing opposites. Do you feel like there's any songs that encapsulate the relationship?
You're really exposing me right now because
we're going deep.
Because I usually don't get that far when it comes to people. When I like someone, I just fall really, really hard and really quickly, and then it's just done. It's over. It never gets any further than me being like, I like you, and then being like, I don't like you, you're insane. And I'm like, cool.
You've said before that you often write 2 to 3 songs a day. I did the math on this, okay? That's potentially 730 songs in 1 year. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Wow.
I write a lot. I've never thought of writing songs as my job. It's always just been, I write songs in order to process everything that's happening with my job. So especially on extra stressful weeks, I write more because I'm I have more to process, or I'm just always writing, and yeah, definitely not all of them are good. Some of them are so bad that I'm like, why did you ever write that? You have no talent. And other days I'm like, that one's pretty good, pretty catchy.
I want to talk about the cut that always bleeds.
Oh God.
The vocals, the guitar, they have a twang that are reminiscent of a big country ballad. Do you feel like your roots in Texas had any influence on this song?
I think my roots in Texas influence every one of my songs. Like my fans always joke on Twitter that like if you sang any of my songs in a country accent, like they'd sound like a country song because I write like like I'm from Texas. I don't know what you want me to say. Like
I paused it halfway. And I'm like, yo, this is a country ballad.
Yeah, it's a country song. I mean, like I remember when I wrote "Lookalike" on the EP, I was like, I don't know if I can put this out. Like it sounds like a country song. And like, I mean, Heather is such a country song. Are you kidding? And even like the big pop songs, like Little League and Wish You Were Sober, like if you sang those in country accents, like no one would think like, oh, this is a pop song, like this is a country song. Yeah.
The story. It feels like Conan now is reflecting on the world around younger Conan. If you could send young Conan a message today, what would that message be?
I would just tell him that it's all going to be okay. You know, when I was really young, I just really didn't think that I would get older. And I think it's a thing that, like, I've talked to a lot of my friends about this. I think my generation in particular, it's just hard as a kid to think about life not being a kid. And so when I was 6, I really just didn't want to exist anymore at all. My life was so painful, and I just couldn't imagine getting like 13 or 14 years old. It just didn't seem realistic. And if I could talk to 6-year-old Conan, I would just tell him like, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna make it to 21 at least, and like, don't be so hard on yourself. Everything feels so permanent when you're young. Even now, every little thing feels like this is the end of the world, but it's not. And life just keeps going if you have the courage to keep going.
Does 21-year-old Conan, like, can you picture, turning 30? Can you picture turning 40?
There's a plan that I have after all of this is gone and after no one cares that I exist, where I just buy a big ranch in Texas and just make everything disappear, make everyone off, and get a horse named Blue Jeans after the horse in the Hannah Montana movie.
I'm really excited to ask you this question because, I've kind of waited the whole interview to do this. But if Conan, if you were to write the story part 2, what would it sound like?
I think if I were to write a story part 2, it would sound like a dream. And it would also just be a testament to how many times I thought that I was just going to die and I didn't, It's like life just keeps going. Honestly, like whether you like it or not, it just does.
Conan Gray, thank you so much for sitting down. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.